One of the things that we really notice when we are talking to those of you who are planning on relocating into the Pensacola metro area is you are all kind of looking for different things, right? Some of you might be looking for where's the new up and coming areas. Some of you guys might be looking at the schools, all kinds of different stuff. So what we're going to do in this video right here is we're going to be covering different areas that we personally would move to if this was our goal insight in moving into the Pensacola metro. What are going to be those goals? So the first one is the most equity growth. Where should you move with the most equity growth? Or where would we move, I guess? Amenities. Where would we move if we were wanting to go somewhere with the most amenities? Walkability and nightlife. Where would we move if we wanted that walkability and nightlife? All right, quit saying that already. School and kids sports, beach living, and then also the tourist zone. Some of you are like that. I know people who want to live in Las Vegas because they want that craziness of Las Vegas. So you might want to live somewhere where you are in the middle of the tourist zone. We're going to be covering all these topics. And then at the end of it, I'm going to be telling you why we chose to live where we lived based off of a few certain reasons. So let's go ahead and dive into this video right now, guys. So the first one that we are going to be covering, and this one has a little bit of a caveat to it, is where you want to move to look for the most equity growth, right? If you live here and your mindset is, I want to live somewhere where I'm going to get the most equity growth over the years. What areas are really kind of booming right now to a point where it's going to become super popular? The first place that always comes to mind when we are talking about this is the Beulah Cantonment area. What drives that? Like if we were wanting to live there because we wanted that equity growth, why am I saying that I think that is going to experience the most equity growth? It's because of the development. When we lived back in Colorado, we would consistently choose houses in areas that weren't quite established but had a lot of development going in. When you see like larger box stores going in, large companies who are moving their headquarters into the area, and man, we got some serious equity growth in those houses that we did purchase in those areas. And Beulah is one of those areas. Now, second place of this, I would say Milton. Milton is kind of like one of those things where I'm waiting to see what happens. It might be a lot longer when we are talking about Milton, but the fact that the city is looking to kind of rehab that downtown area, make it a cool, like little quaint area. In the surrounding areas, we do see some development, some newer houses that are going in. The reason that I left Pace off of this is because Pace is kind of establishing itself as kind of like your ultimate suburbia areas. We'll see what kind of comes with Pace. Like Pace might be up there as well too, but I think ultimately when you are looking for the most equity growth, Beulah by far is the top spot to go. The next one is going to be amenities. If we were moving here strictly for the amenities to be as close by as possible, I would say like probably the Ensley Ferry Pass area, and there's one main player that makes me think this. The fact that they're throwing the Costco in at the old Walmart up there. Anywhere you see a Costco, you know that you're planning that there's going to be awesome amenities surrounding it, and there already are a lot of awesome amenities that do surround that area. When we're pretty much talking about the 9 Mile Road, that 9 Mile Road has a bunch of great spots. They have great restaurants up there that we go to all the time, even though we don't really live like within 30 minutes of it. So if we're talking about those amenities, accessibility to it, then that 9 Mile Road over by like Ensley and Ferry Pass is definitely a hot spot. The good thing about the 9 Mile Road too is if you go straight west on 9 Mile, you run straight into Beulah, where Beulah, I'm guessing they are going to have a ton of amenities that you could also take advantage of. So if that's really what you're looking for, I would definitely probably move into this like Ensley Ferry Pass area. The third one is walkability and nightlife. And you could just pretty much look at it and be like, well, obviously downtown. Downtown's where it's going to be hopping. Okay, yeah, we could set back on that and we could say, okay, yeah, just go downtown. That's where we want to go for this, the kind of the walkability and that nightlife. I'm going to narrow it down a little bit further though. So if we're talking about like the Seville area, which is like east of the downtown of Palafox and all that, the Seville area, and I'd say like North Hill, if you want to live right within there, then you do have that walkability with downtown. You do have that nightlife of downtown. That's kind of where I'm thinking would be a great spot to kind of be. And that Seville area is amazing. We love it down there. They have a bunch of like older homes, and they also have like a newer kind of like a community a type of area right there with some newer homes. And so that'd be a great spot to go if you are really looking for that nightlife and kind of like that walkability. I'd also say like East Hill. The great thing about East Hill Like they have the Publix over in East Hill on Cervante Road. They're trying to get a little bit more walkability in East Hill because they see East Hill as, I think, up and coming area. It is one of those spots. It's kind of like a niche spot. Back in Colorado, we called it the Highlands or whatever. That's what this area reminds me of. Is they're really kind of trying to build that place up as like a niche spot. That's why they have that Publix over there. They have a lot of cool like little breweries and stuff all in and around the area right there. But like so those are a few different areas I would choose now, knowing what I know if we were first moving into the Pensacola metro area. The next one, and I'd say probably about 80% of you who do call us, this is your number one, is you're looking at pretty much schools and kids sports. And if you're in the Pensacola metro area, even talking to a lot of the old school, you know, the OGs that are in the area, everyone really kind of knows. Gulf Breeze is like the cream of the crop when we are talking about schools. And so here's the thing, when we're talking about kids athletics, because Gulf Breeze, when we are comparing it to a lot of these other areas in Pensacola and stuff, their sports aren't like top winners, I guess you could say it or whatever, but when we're talking about dedication to kids sports and the athletics, you cannot beat Gulf Breeze. And I'm talking about even like proper going down to Tiger Point, because they both kind of have their own leagues depending on the sport. We just threw our son into lacrosse. I've never had anything to do with lacrosse. Never played it or not knew anything about it, but it's pretty cool. We have to drive down to Proper, so Proper, like sometimes like if we're talking about tackle football, lacrosse, that is only exclusive in Proper. When we're talking about Tiger Point, it's mainly like soccer, baseball, what else they got over, they got flag football, stuff like that. But like I said, if we're talking about that where it's just like kids athletics and then the schools, Gulf Breeze, especially Proper, it's just hard to beat. Now beach living, since I am going to be talking about if you want to live within a tourist zone in the next subject, this beach living that I'm thinking at the top of my mind is somewhere that you want to go, but you don't necessarily want to deal with all the tourists that are visiting the area. And so if we're talking about that, Perdido Key is definitely where you want to go, where you don't have too many tourists that are going over there. We have helped out a few clients who are fishermen who have their own boats and stuff like that, moving over to Perdido Key so they can kind of get away from the tourists and stuff like that and have that beach style living. And it's beautiful over there. It's nowhere near as busy as say Pensacola or Navarre Beach. And it's just one of those areas, if you do want to live like right on the Gulf or even like right on the Sound side or something like that, that is an awesome spot to be and still be able to kind of get away from the tourists who are a little bit closer to Pensacola. And then for those of you who are the ones who are like, I want to be right in the middle of the tourist zone. I want to be in the action all the time whenever it's happening, because we do have seasons here.
I think you're very popular here, Grandpa.
Yeah, you're the one that's gonna have to watch out.
I mean, Pensacola Beach, that's where you got to be. It's like Pensacola Beach is one of those spots that you are going to be in the middle of the tourist trap if that is what you want to be involved in. If you don't plan on driving around everywhere, you just want to take advantage of all the festivities that do happen over in Pensacola Beach, you're definitely going to get a lot more tourists at Pensacola Beach as compared to Navarre Beach. And honestly, I would actually throw Navarre Beach back in with beach living, because like when you go on the main hub, the main bridge that comes across over to Navarre Beach, that area right there is a little touristy. But if you go down and you go west a little bit, you get away from that a little bit. And so if you wanted a serene beach living on the beach, there's some good spots down there as well too. Just know you are going to be paying a pretty price over in Navarre Beach. I mean, plan on spending definitely a meal plus over at Navarre Beach. But yeah, like I said, if you want to be right in the middle of the tourist trap, definitely Pensacola Beach is where you want to be. You will be in the middle of it. Usually picks up around spring break, ends like right around, I'd say like September time frame. That's where you want to be if you want to be in the middle of that tourist trap. All right, and so now, because like, so this is me kind of going back to, if I was living here, these were my objectives, were the areas that I wanted to live in. Why did we choose where we are? Because if you've been watching our channel and you're one of our loyal watchers who watches this all the time, you know that we do live in Gulf Breeze, but we live down the highway in Gulf Breeze in the Tiger Point area. I've talked about this a few times. Why I personally didn't want our family living in Proper is because a lot of the tourist traffic that's coming over from Pensacola Airport, from Pensacola downtown, goes straight through Proper, and I personally did not like that. I didn't want us to be that close to a busy road. Yes, and when we're talking about down the highway in the Tiger Point area, we do have 98, but all of our neighborhoods are off of it and kind of away from it. It seems like it's a little bit further away from that busy traffic, and we don't have to, and we've got a cushion of like retail and stuff like that for our housing, for the majority of our housing, that gets us away from that street. And the other great thing about the area that we chose is we want to take advantage of those schools and activities that Gulf Breeze proper does offer, but we want to be away from that craziness. And so with Tiger Point, we still do go to Gulf Breeze schools. The only one that we don't go to is Oriole Beach, which Oriole Beach is another A-rated school within the Gulf Breeze area. And so our kids go there, but then when we're talking about Gulf middle school and then high school, they will both be going over into proper. And then I wanted that golf cart community. And if I've talked to you guys and you're watching this before, it's one of the questions I always ask you. It's like, how important is it to you to be within a golf cart community? And some of you say, you know, I really don't care about that. Or some of you say like, yes, that's why I'm watching you guys. That's why I gave you a ring, is because I want to be in that golf cart community. And so we do have some people, and it's like, I love the fact that we could just go out for a golf cart trip, that we do all these golf cart parades within the community, that I could take my golf cart straight over to Walmart, straight over to Publix, straight over to Lowe's. That is something that I enjoy and that I love to do. And we can't do that over in the Tiger Point area, and another big reason why we did choose this area. All right, guys, thank you so much for watching. Again, like I said, these are just some subjects I came up with. If you are relocating here, where I personally would pick for certain things. So if you are looking at relocating into the Emerald Coast, make sure you give us a call or text at the phone number right below. Right there, we always answer, doesn't matter date or time. Licensed realtor here helping you out with all your real estate needs. But if you're not quite ready to purchase, just want to follow along and educate yourself, you know, give them that discovery mode a little bit, smash that subscribe button, give us a thumbs up, notification bell. That way you're notified every single time we put out a brand new video. Till next time, we love you.